Counting down with GTT. We're about to be live straight from the gut every Thursday night. Doing a little bit different tonight, so I'm going to try to share this. So you probably haven't even gotten a notification, have you?
I'm not set up to receive notifications from your GoodTimeTommy. But I'm on here.
Do you see anything? Hey, I see something.
All I see is your GTT cup.
So you can see that. Okay, friends, I'm right here. I'm sorry. I'm trying to share. I'm trying something new.
Are you going to move it so I can see your face?
You can. It's.
Oh, okay.
Everybody, please bear with me. Had to do it this way. I see all my friends all these years. Hey, I appreciate it, baby. I know you're about to fall asleep. And people.
It says share to your page, baby.
It's already. Well, baby, I was about to do that.
That's what Kathleen just mentioned, so.
Amberly, thank you for getting on here, friend. Ooh, Chris Gregory, thank you. Thank you much. Let me see what all. I am trying something new. And I have got it on here. How many times has it been shared? All right, I'm about to get started, guys. Thank you so much, everybody that's getting on here. If you're not, if you have not liked my page, Good Time Tommy on Facebook, would you please like my page? I would greatly appreciate it. This is something that I've totally neglected. All of our content goes out on the Tommy Davidson page, and we want to build the Good Time Tommy page. So. If you wouldn't mind, I would love it. I'd be so grateful if you'd just like Good Time Tommy on Facebook. And if you would also share the stream onto your page. Every Thursday night, I come to you live at the GTT house. Is that what we can call this, baby?
Sure. Just no flags.
No flags. So we can't have any flags. But my name's Tommy Davidson. If you don't know me, I'm a real estate agent in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And I've got two purposes. One, to educate people around Murfreesboro about real estate. Part of me wants to put out a lot of real estate content that's very educational. The other part of me is I'm very driven to reach my potential. Therefore, I'm very passionate about self-development. On Wednesdays, I do a show called Real Estate 101, and that's where me and AKA the Weatherman educate people on real estate. We like to entertain. We call it edutainment. Hey, there's the Super Coach. I need you tonight, Super Coach. I need you to share the stream for Good Time Tommy. On Thursday night, I do a show called Straight from the Gut. This is Straight from the Gut, where I'm focusing on my past, and I'm focusing on helping other people reach their potential and become more aware of self-development. Cookie Monster is on here. Coach Burt. Okay, this the idea I've got tonight, Tuesday, I was going to get my hair cut. I do have a mohawk. People ask what kind of hairstyle. I do have a mohawk, and I'm proud. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the likes, the comments, and please like the Good Time Tommy page. We will reward the people that share, and the people also that like the page that have not, you will be eligible to win an Alley on Main gift card. It's $25. That is my favorite restaurant in Murfreesboro. We will also, if you want the slingshot, if you're a respectful driver and I can trust you, we will let you take out the slingshot for one weekend. Hey, Ryan Mudd, thank you for getting on here. Ryan, I hope you've liked the Good Time Tommy page. So Tuesday, I was going to get my hair cut, which is the mohawk, and there was a train. I was going that little back road over there by where that block company is underneath the Old Fort Parkway bypass. There's a way that you can go. It's on Main Street. And this train kept going and going and going and going. And I swear I looked down, it had been going for 4 minutes. And I'm always trying to come up with cool content. And I thought to myself, what have I always been waiting on? What do I always wait on? What are the things that have been holding me back? You see, I'm 44 years old. I waited way too long to get very passionate about getting better, about reaching my potential. If you talk to any of my friends, if anybody that's on here knew me 8 years ago, they would tell you this guy's nothing. You don't even know. You wouldn't recognize me. I've had a lot of people tell me that. So that train was going by, and I started thinking, man, I'm sitting here and I'm waiting. The content started coming to me like, what do I wait on? Me and my buddy Coach Burt were talking to somebody the last Friday, as a matter of fact. Hey, Swifty, I hope you like the Good Time Tommy page, and I hope you will share the stream. The guy that we talked to was a very, very successful guy, and he was pitching his product. And he said, man, I can tell you what holds you back is hesitation. And it was like he could read right through me. I'm thinking, what are things that have held me back? And then as I'm preparing for tonight, I started thinking about where did it start? I grew up in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and I had a chance. I could have done some other things. I could have gone off to school, but I decided that I was going to stay right here and play it safe and go to MTSU. It took me 5.5 years. Wendy Sweeney, how are you doing, friend? How's Destin? I played it safe. I stayed right here. Hey, Mama, I love you. I played it safe. I stayed right here and went to MTSU. 5.5 years later, I finally got out of school. But what do I wish I would have done? Why didn't I go off to college? Because I was telling Brittany, life is really only about your experiences. I want you to think about that. It's about what you have experienced in life. How many places have you gone to? There's a girl on here I graduated with, Wendy Sweeney. She's moved, I don't know how long she's lived down in Destin, Florida. That's a life experience. She may be down in Destin forever. She may go somewhere else. She may move back here, but she'll always have that experience. So I let myself down by not going somewhere, not getting away, experiencing something new, challenging myself. The reason why I didn't do that is I was scared looking back. I just had fear of going somewhere else. Chris Hires, my man, what's up? I was too scared to get out of my comfort zone at 18. Actually, I was about 19 when I was going to be an incoming freshman, baby. I was an old-timer. What's your question?
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead, as long as the audience can hear it, but I doubt they can.
So do you think that it's just the scarcity mindset, or do you think where you are now looking back, you just didn't know any different?
No, I knew. She's asking, was it a scarcity mindset, or did I not know any different if I'm looking back right now? No, looking back right now, I can tell you I was ruled by fear. I was scared to get away. I was scared to get out of my comfort zone. Most of my friends were right here. I didn't want to get away from them. So therefore, 4 years, always got my Tennessee in my heart. That's right, Wendy. I was scared. I didn't want to leave my friends. I wanted to have lifelong friends, and I still have a lot of friends from high school. I don't get to talk to them as much as I used to. My best friend lives in Florida that I graduated high school with, Adam Wright. We talk every single morning. But that's kind of where it started for me about, hey, I'm going to play it safe, because your mom makes your decisions for you up until that time, and I don't think my mom would have minded if I'd have gone off to school. It was very important to my mom that I went and got a degree, which I did do that. It only took 5.5 years and several, academic probation. Better late than never. So let's fast forward. I finally get out of school. My first job was with a company called J.C. Bradford. I always wanted to be a stockbroker. That was my dream job, was to be a stockbroker. And I didn't start off as that at J.C. Bradford. I started off in their little margin department. And that was just like an operations job. But there was an opportunity for me to move to Charlotte, North Carolina, and work with this dude that was so cool. Excuse me. His name was Pat Golden. He was like a little wonder boy that, well, he wasn't small, but I mean, I think he had been like he ran a marathon at an early age. He was on Good Morning America or something like that. Maybe he even had a tryout with the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, he had done all these crazy things, and I could have mentored under him. He offered me a job to come work there for him in Charlotte, North Carolina. Me and my buddy Will Rowland, we loaded up with Will was driving. I think we probably had a 6-pack of beer and drove. We were driving to Charlotte, North Carolina, and we got to the other side of Cookeville, and we went to get gas, and neither one of us had any money. I mean, we're probably 26 years old. So that night, we had to call my best friend, Adam Wright, who was probably living in Birmingham, and he had to wire us money. That's how pathetic. Hey, that's how great my life was. About 26 years old, I had to get Adam Wright wire me money. So he'll still to this day, if you ever hear him say, "What's up, Charlotte?" That's what he's referring to. In the middle of the night, he gets a phone call and he wires me money. So we go over there. We have a great time. He had a boat. I don't know if you guys are race fans. I don't know if you know what Lake Norman is. But he had a boat on Lake Norman, and that's where all the NASCAR people were. So he was very connected over there in that Charlotte area. I knew a lot of people because of the job I had. We serviced that. I had that branch there. So we went out. We had a great time, and man, I was convinced. I was pumped up. I was going to take that job. Then about 24 hours later, when I got back home, I got around my friends. I decided once again I would let my comfort hold me back. You understand what I'm saying, baby? Brittany Renee isn't in studio, but she's over on the couch. So these are things I started thinking about. I'm 44 years old today. Looking back, I've got some great experiences in my life, but I could have a lot more. Right now, there are things that are going on in my life that I'm scared to move forward on. Why is that? Well, I do know this. I've come a long way in that last 8 years, and I'm going to talk about some things that helped me overcome this stuff, how I could challenge myself, push myself to get better, because I'm a lot more open to things today than I was at 25, 30, 32 years old. I was, so I thought but it was because your family. Mama, I remember that. I think it was in Pittsburgh. That's, I take because your family would not. Hey, let's not get on here and start bashing the family, Mama. Don't beat your. No, I'm not beating myself up. For me, I like to be very honest and transparent. I'm not the least bit disappointed with where my life is right now. So if it sounds like a pity party, that's not what this is. So all these things that I'm talking about led to an awakening. I believe you're going to be motivated by either pain or by reaching your potential. All these things that I'm talking about was leading to pain. I was very disappointed in myself. And then 2008 happened, and I didn't have a choice. That's when Coach Michael Burke came into my life. And everybody that's on here, I would appreciate if you like the Good Time Tommy page on Facebook. If you can see it, you got to go to the page to like it. I'm trying to build the audience, and I would be greatly appreciative if you would help me build Good Time Tommy on here. So Coach Burke came into my life, and we had been friends, not just the video, Mama. I want you to make sure you like the page. And please share my stream out, because what I've gone through, if I can influence one person that maybe they have not, maybe if they hear my story, maybe they won't have to go through it. Maybe I can help them. So when Michael came into my life, we had a relationship. He was a basketball coach at Riverdale. And we became close. And I remember I was with him the night they won the state championship. I remember going out after it. So I can't remember what year that was in. Maybe 2007 or 8, somewhere right around there. So he started coaching our company at John Jones Real Estate. And me and him just really, really connected. He was really new he had just gotten out of teaching coaching, and he was now getting into coaching full time. And he didn't even know what he didn't know. Thank you, Mama. I love you. He came in there kind of like, hey, I'm the greatest. Hey, you're the greatest. Michael Burt thought he was the greatest, which he is the greatest. So he was teaching our class, and whenever he would come, he came in like every 2 weeks. So we were around each other then, but I was always reaching out. But this is when that little thing in my head started really, or in my spirit, whatever you want to call it, was really starting to say, hey, what's wrong with you? Why have you not progressed? Why are you mediocre? And so it went from meetings to me calling him. The next thing you know, we're having breakfast. We're hanging out all the time. I'm in his house. So fast forward a bit. The first real aha moment that I can remember in my life was when Michael created this concept called person of interest. And person of interest is his little baby. And he breaks down what people of interest have. And really, what I was the most intrigued by was in sales. How many of you people are in sales? The last thing I really wanted to do was chase business. I didn't want to get on the phone, call people, and just be rejected all day long. Well, this concept positioned you as an expert to where people were coming to you. And that was the first aha moment that I ever had when Michael introduced this. I remember when he was creating all the content, but the book came out. And if you have not got the book, anybody else having trouble with reception? Man, I hope not, Chris, because it's working, hey, surprisingly for me. But, man, I hope it's not hurting or breaking down everywhere else. So I was with Michael whenever he created the content, and the book came out, and I was so eat up with this concept. Now, a person of interest, it takes a while to implement this to where the market can recognize you for what you have become. It took me, I was doing this, his concept where he's got 8 strategies, and I'm gonna go through 5 that held me back because I didn't have them yet. But there's like 8 strategies that this had, and every one of them, it was like an awakening inside me that re-energized what I wanted to accomplish. So I'm going to break down things that were holding me back, and some of these things still hold me back. And I want you to think about what's holding you back right now, because there's something inside all of us that are holding us back. So number 1, fear. This was one thing that was really holding me back. It led me to have a lack of desire. One of the things a person of interest has to have is desire. But when you're scared to do something, your desire to go out, maybe you don't even know what to do. But because I didn't know what to do, what it was doing is it was limiting how much action I would take. I knew this, that I did not want to go out and just call people all day. I didn't want to go out and chase. I did not want to chase business. I wanted to position myself to where people said, man, that guy, Tommy, he knows what's going on. Let's go ask him. Let's go pursue him for business. And again, this took a very, very long time for people to recognize that I had these special skill sets going on, because it takes a while. Here's my thing right now. I'm telling everybody, the best investment that you can make is in yourself, because you could invest in anything. I don't care what it is, and there's probably a chance you can lose your money. You cannot lose money investing on, hey, I like that, Ryan Mudd. That's a great book. I have not completed, but I've read it, Think and Grow Rich. But if you invest in yourself, you've got knowledge. Knowledge cannot be taken away from you. And that's one of the things that I didn't focus enough on. I appreciate all the loves, Mama. So Fear. What kind of fear did I have? Well, I didn't want to put myself out there. I didn't want to put myself in a position to where somebody might reject me, where somebody might tell me no. And I think it's okay to admit that. How many of you people out there don't want to pursue something? Ryan Mudd, I know you're not like this because, man, you're relentless. This is something that you've got. Hey, Chip Lloyd, what's up, buddy? So, fear of asking for business and then being rejected. All these things would paralyze my activity, what I was pursuing. Number two, it was a lack of belief. I didn't have enough belief in myself. Sorry, my throat's getting dry. I didn't have enough lack of belief, or I had no lack of belief, because I didn't have a track record that made me feel good about myself. For 35 years, again, I was a very mediocre dude. I had very mediocre accomplishments, in my opinion. Now, my mom might say, hey, you were awesome. Your aunt may say, hey, you were great, or your friends may say you're great. But really, when I was looking at myself, I knew I should have been doing better. I knew I was underperforming. I knew I could do better. I didn't know what it took to get there. I mean, all my friends were saying, hey, you got to work harder. But to me, that never did register. What do you mean work harder? That wasn't good enough. I needed something coded out. And the person of interest was exactly what I needed. Hey, everybody, I appreciate you getting on here. So I had a lack of belief. And how do you believe in yourself if all you have seen is a very mediocre track record? Your performance year after year was very average. How can you have more belief if you've seen enough social proof and deep down you know what you've done? How do you feel good about that? How do you increase your belief? Weatherman, where are you, friend? I see you liking that, or is that Kathleen liking as you right now?
I saw his picture too. I was on.
Good to have you on here, Weatherman. I appreciate you. Weatherman, I hope you share this stream. Hey, you're sharing the post. I don't know if you're sharing the video. So, the desire, the belief, I had a lack of skills. This is exactly out of Coach Burt's playbook. You've got to have belief. You've got to have skills. I didn't have skills. Now let me tell you what I did have. I did have the ability for people to like me. I never had a problem being vulnerable. I never had a problem being open. I never had a problem encouraging others. And man, I hope it ain't us, Weatherman. Chris Gregory said the same thing.
Other people said theirs is fine.
I hope so. Hey, Brittany Renee gets defensive when I start talking about our internet. She acts like.
Ron said good on my end.
Okay, so I didn't have the skills. I didn't have the skills that it took to become better in my business. In my business, it's very, very important how you communicate with somebody. It's very important how you negotiate. It's very, very important how well you are with overcoming objections. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff. The only thing I knew how to do was be chum, be funny, have fun, be good time Tommy. Hey, hashtag GTT. I didn't know what I needed. I didn't have enough ammunition. Hey, Scott Abernathy, the best property management company in the business. Okay, so I can see comments, but Tommy just looks like he's staring. Weatherman, I am staring at you with amazement.
You're the best.
You're the greatest. So, hey, everybody that's getting on here, I really do appreciate you liking. If you would please share and please like the Good Time Tommy page. I would greatly appreciate that. I know it's inconvenient, but I'm really trying to build the Good Time Tommy page on Facebook. So, share my stream out. I appreciate it. Please like the page, not just the video. Again, it's inconvenient. So, hey, I had the fear of rejection going against me. I had a lack of belief in myself. I had a lack of skills. How was all this going to start playing out for me? It's when I got more involved in the coaching program. I know people get sick of me talking about this. They think I work for Michael. But my life changed whenever my mind started getting bigger. My mindset changed. whenever you just really are eaten up with self-improvement, self-development, a lot of things change, a lot of things that maybe you can't explain, maybe you can't articulate it, but I can see things today that may be the same picture, but I couldn't foresee things back then that I can now. I didn't have the same instinct. So I developed my skills, and this is something that we work on every day. Now that I've got cousin Charlie in the office, every morning we're going to practice sales scripts. Share it with the world. Thank you, Ryan Mudd. How are you doing, Ryan Mudd, by the way? So who here feels like they're being held back because of fear, a lack of belief in themselves, a lack of skills? That's 3 of the 5 things, and these are all things that Coach Burt was teaching in Person of Interest. The best concept that I've ever, everything that you see from me right now, Good Time Tommy, all that was it incubated with Michael Burt's concept. Person of interest. That's where all this stuff came from. I wanted to create this person that everybody wanted to be around. Now, some people don't like it, but I knew that. I'm willing to risk that. I do want people that want more of my time, and it sometimes it can be overwhelming, but that's why I did this. So, number 4, I had a lack of knowledge. A huge lack of knowledge. How was I going to gain all of this at 36 years old? I didn't want to go back and get a master's degree. I got a degree in psychology. That's not really doing me any good. Coaching program. I've been in a program with Michael probably for 8 years. Well, Mud, that doesn't mean you don't need to be in sales. That doesn't mean that at all. Because the one thing I know about you, Ryan, is things don't really bother you, or from an outside looking at you, you get over things quick. And that was one of the things I struggled with. I took things so personally that it was hard for me to bounce back. That's one of the things in Monster Producer tomorrow that Michael's going to talk about. When things don't go your way, how do you react to it? You know, there's a difference between emotional toughness and mental toughness. And my emotional toughness, whenever things didn't go my way, whenever I got knocked down, it was hard for me to get back up. I could fight through things. That's mental toughness. But your emotional toughness is when you take a major blow, and for me, it was very hard to overcome that. So I didn't have knowledge, and still all these things that I feel like I still feel like I'm behind on all this stuff. I'm 44 years old, and I'm still obsessed with learning more stuff. How many of you people on here are trying to improve every day, whether it's reading something or something on YouTube? Are you doing something that's making your mind expand when you're thinking about something? And I'm not trying to make this the Michael Burt hour, but or 45 minutes or whatnot, but he had a great guy on his show. You need to go see. He interviewed Chris Voss, and it was all about negotiations. If you haven't seen this is about a 40-minute interview, 45 minutes, and it doesn't matter what your job is. You ought to go watch that and hear how Chris Voss was the #1 hostage negotiator for the FBI for years, and he's teaching you how to negotiate. So the knowledge took a while. You know, you can't just give somebody something. You can't just make it transactional. Knowledge is something that takes time. Seth Godin YouTube. Hey, everybody's watched it today. Chris, it was a great man. So it was an awesome interview. Baby, you got any questions?
Not at the moment, baby. I've been commenting.
Well, I appreciate you putting all this stuff out there. Hey, tomorrow me and Brittany Renee, we're going to Gatlinburg. I haven't been to Gatlinburg. I think my mom took me when I was maybe 5, 6, 7 years old. Me, Brittany Renee, and Nicholas are going. I haven't been to Gatlinburg since I think my mom took me when I was about 7. I have not been back. Had no interest. But hey, I'm looking forward to going back tomorrow. So it is going to be fun. I want to see what that place looks like. I mean, it's changed so much. So So what I'm going through right here, the things that have held me back are right out of the person of interest. Hey, I almost said person of influence. That would have been a mistake. The person of interest concept. These 8 things that he outlined. So number 5. Something that held me back, something that still holds me back, and this probably holds all of us back, is having a lack of networks. I didn't know, not enough people know me. Not enough influential people know me. One of the reasons why I do this show is I want more people to know me. I want them to know me in a unique way. I want them to know the real me. And my goal is for 131,000 people in Murfreesboro to know me. That's not big enough. So that's why I need your help. I need people to share the stream. I want more people to like this page. And one of my goals is to join me on network. Scott Abernathy is a very, very good networker. He is, Scott Abernathy can actually work a room better than just about everybody I know. And I'm terrible at it. I don't know. I can sit here and do this, but whenever I get into a room, for some reason, I don't want to sit there and go around and talk to everybody. Now, I would like it if everybody wanted to come up and talk to me. I don't know. I don't know why I don't like that. I don't know. Maybe I need to find that out. Maybe. Hey, David Estes, you still in Panama City? Go big or go home. That's another thing. I thought small for too long. That's something else that's probably the one thing that's probably the most influential thing that has held me back. My thinking's been too small. Even the weatherman will get on me about something that I could do, and if I can't figure out how I could do it, I immediately shut down the idea. I need to start thinking more creative. Well, you got to get creative. You got to find out whatever it takes. Do we have any questions? I really appreciate everybody that's gotten on here. I know it is inconvenient. I have launched this from the Good Time Tommy page. We're going to start releasing more content on the Good Time Tommy Facebook page. Hey, Jessica Warner, how are you doing, friend? I really appreciate you getting on here. Your social cup is empty. Time to fill it up with Scott. Use your resources. I appreciate all these comments. And hey, everybody that's on here, Jessica Warner, if you have not liked the Good Time Tommy page, would you please make sure you're liking the page? Don't just like the video. Again, I know it's inconvenient, but I'd greatly appreciate it if you like the Good Time Tommy page. I can't tell how many people have liked it, but I do appreciate everybody that's done it. So I'm going to go back through this real quick and tell you the things that have. Hey, Scott, I see a post right here. You're hiring a new sales position. Do you want to talk about that, Scott Abernathy? You're hiring a new salesperson over there at PMI. Is that correct? Can we talk about that? What can I do to help you, friend? Hey, I'm sorry. So I'm going to go back through the things that have held me back. And I want to know from you guys, what's holding you back? What are things that are holding you back? 5 things that I listed that were holding me back. Fear. I really think the fear would paralyze me from doing any kind of action. I was scared of being told no. I was scared of rejection. I was scared of looking stupid. So all these things would cause me to retreat. I would not pursue sales opportunities or other opportunities in life because I was scared of an outcome that really didn't matter. Joe Rich, hey, Joe Rich is on here. Number 2, hey, Joey Rich can tell you how I was 8 years ago, 9 years ago. I'm really not the same person, but it takes a while to do this. Number 2, a lack of belief. Not believing in what I could accomplish was something that, and again, how could you really believe that you could accomplish something if most of your life you had a very average track record. If most of everything you did, you're about average, how can you change? How can you shift your thinking from, hey, I'm average to I'm going to have a breakthrough. I'm going to perform at a higher level. It took me a while to figure that out, but having that belief that the history of performance for so long, that held me back. Number 3, a lack of skills. My skills weren't where they needed to be because I didn't put in the time to improve my skills. Thankfully, I got into a coaching program where it started teaching me skills. Lack of knowledge, and that's real estate knowledge. That's just financial knowledge. That there's a lot of people that have helped me gain more knowledge. But I was very immature. I didn't know how important it was to know a lot of things, to have access to information, to be able to talk to people. And one of the things, like Joey Richardson said today, agents aren't just deliverers. They don't need to think like they're just taking information and delivering it to somebody. They got to think more like problem solvers. Well, if you don't have knowledge and skills, you never really do develop that. And you're really probably not going to overly impress who you're working for, who you're representing, if you're not solving problems. If you're just taking it to them and making them decide, you've got to have these skills and knowledge to know how to solve problems. Number 5, limited networks. I would still say right now my networks aren't near where they need to be. I want 100, hey, maybe we got to raise that to 150,000 people. I want 150,000 people to know me. I want to grow a platform, the Good Time Tommy platform, to where more people know me. If there's more people out there that know me, there's more opportunities for me to monetize that relationship. See, if I'm just in one vertical of real estate, what if I get more horizontal? What if there's more than real estate? What if whatever those opportunities that come along, I don't even know what they are, but well, I've got a marketing company. You know, you see me, I do a lot of post and promotions for other people out there. That's one way. What if that marketing company could get even bigger? There's other things that are going to come, but I've got to have the platform of people, the networks, before I can make that happen. Baby, do you have any questions? I knew you wouldn't have a question sitting in there. I knew it. Well, guys, are there any questions? I want to ask you, hey, what's holding you back? Have you really thought to yourself or asked yourself, what's holding me back? What is it that I want? Why am I not there? And it's okay to tell yourself. It doesn't mean anything if you're honest with yourself and you're like, you know what, I'm not where I want to be. It's okay to say that. It's okay to tell yourself, hey, I've kind of let myself down. A lot of people don't want to say that to themselves. They don't want to hear they've let themselves down. Well, I felt like it got to the point to where I felt like I wasn't just letting me down. I was letting my friends down. I was letting my mom down. I was letting my family down because I felt like I should be doing more. I wasn't accomplishing what I felt like I could be. And
it's like a 12-step program. You have to come to terms with it before you can grow from it.
Now, what exactly is a 12-step? I appreciate the likes. And everybody, please like Good Time Tommy. Please share my stream.
You know, like in AA, they have the 12-step program. The first step is acknowledging that you have a problem.
Yeah.
Past that and rise above it.
Yep. Yeah. I remember my buddy Tim Dutton, he was going through my finances with me, and he just said it took me decades to reach that point. What point's that, Sammy Swifty? Tim Dutton said to me, Tommy, Tim Dutton's a very, very Southern gentleman, and he was helping me with my financial statement, and we were looking at stuff, and he said, Tommy, you're running out of time. Man, that was something that was very eye-opening. It was very, it's something that was true. You want to get mad because they're saying something about you, and it's like you want to take it and internalize it and say, well, you don't believe in me. Well, the truth can be painful, but the truth can also be liberating. The truth can also be inspiring. It can be motivational. Kathleen, what kind of fear of failure do you have? Whenever you have a fear of failure, what it does is it prevents you from your greatness. It will hold you back from doing things that that's right. Hey, you're coming alive over there. Brittany Renee's finally waking up. So, Kathleen, I appreciate that you want things to be perfect, but I'll walk in there on Cousin Charlie, and I don't care if it's perfect. Because I think you've got to do things often. You've got to get frequent before you can get great. So if you've never done something, if you've done something once or twice or 3 times, don't worry about how good it is. Just do it. And like I told Cousin Charlie, hey, you're not going to get good at this until you've made 1,000 phone calls. So don't hesitate on getting to 1,000 phone calls. Just go ahead and get them over with. The faster you can get away or get on with this, you're going to fail. And it's okay to fail. It's okay to not be successful every time. What's not okay is not to push yourself, not to challenge yourself. What's not okay is to not take risks, not take chances. So I encourage people, everybody over there at the GTT studios, Kathleen, it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to try something that looks stupid, because some of our breakthroughs are going to come when we're experimenting with things, and it happens, and we're like, man, this was awesome. Well, what if we were fearful of trying that? We never would experiment. We never would solve these problems, or we never would try something. We're like, man, that is unbelievable. I do want to brag on you, Cousin Charlie. Are you still on here? Is Cousin Charlie still here, or did he already shut it down for the night? I'm looking for you. Well, Cousin Charlie he has been with us. He's really been with us for about a month, but Tuesday, August the 1st was his first day. And Cousin Charlie has been in sales, so it's very easy for him to pick up on things. But I've been very, very, very impressed with, I'm going to talk about that. Thank you for bringing that up, Ryan Mudd. Cousin Charlie has picked up on things very quickly, and watching him, it's a great feeling. I get a lot of satisfaction, a lot of pride out of showing somebody something, and then they can start executing it. It freezes you, so it wouldn't make it any worse. Got to move forward and stop looking backwards. Okay, Sam. But, hey, Sam, we're looking forward to getting you. I almost called you today, Swifty. But Cousin Charlie, it's been a really, really cool experience for me to see him doing what I'm asking him to do, and to see how he's making strides. Ryan Mudd, have you put your 10,000 hours in like Malcolm Gladwell talks about? I do really believe that concept of 10,000 hours. And let's just say if I worked the first 10 years at about 1,000 hours a week, we should be working 2,000 hours a week. And that would make after 5 years, you should be great at something. But for me, I was on the slow track because of all these things I'm talking about. After about 10 years for me in real estate, that's when things really started clicking for me. I think that's whenever you're starting to reach your genius levels, is when you've been doing something 10,000 hours. Some people, maybe they are freaks and they catch on a lot faster. But for me, after 10 years, that's when my shift happened. That's when things started to break through. And I'm going to say that's roughly 10,000 hours. Because I didn't work 2,000 hours a year like I should have. Well, Swifty, that's an internal thing about worrying about letting other people down. Because no matter what, no matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you prepare, no matter how perfect you make it, you're always going to let somebody down. So the best thing that you can do is overcome that fear and just accept, I'm going to let you down. I'm going to let somebody down no matter what. And what that will allow you to do is start taking giant steps forward without worrying about, without consideration of what others think, what others say. Whenever I started this Good Time Tommy movement, there wasn't many people saying, hey, I love it. There was not many people in my corner that said, hey, that is a great idea. A party boy calling himself Good Time Tommy in the Bible Belt, owning the fact that he's a party kid. But that wasn't the meaning for me. It was something much deeper. But that was what the perception was going to be. So whenever you make a decision, whenever you've made a commitment to move forward with something, it doesn't matter what other people think. It only matters what you think. It matters how you look at yourself whenever you didn't do what you said you would do. Brittany Renee, are you asleep?
No, I'm here.
Hey, I've only been talking about you for 40 minutes, Coach Bird. Have you been on here? I've broken down the whole, really what held me back, Michael Burt. Hey, it's your fault. You didn't come up with person of interest soon enough. Everything that held me back, I can trace every single thing back to I was without 1, 2, 3. I was without 5 concepts of the 8 of person of interest. I didn't have networks. I didn't have knowledge. I didn't have skills. My confidence was low. My desire wasn't there. I was missing 5 ingredients of the person of interest concept that, hey, man, you created. Let me take credit for it. So person of interest helped me overcome all of this stuff. It was coded out so simple. All I had to do was get better at what he said. There were some things I felt like I had high likability. I felt like I could connect to others. I didn't have a free prize because nobody cared enough about me at that time to offer a free prize. But I really went to work on all. Well, see, Michael, I was talking about that tonight where what I found out is I didn't like being the person. Keisha, how are you doing, girl? I never wanted to be that person that was, my mama always hits those mad faces. Hey, it's okay to tell yourself that you let yourself down, mama. It's okay. I didn't want to be the person that was chasing business. I wanted to position myself as that guy, that person that the market was coming to. But I knew this. I knew I had to get more knowledge. I knew I had to get more confidence. I knew I had to get more skills. None of that changed until I got into a coaching program. At 35 years old, what am I going to do? Go back to college? The cheapest thing you can do right now is get into a coaching program. And there's about 200 people locally in Monster Producer that are getting this. They're getting a competitive advantage because they're getting better at all this stuff. Look at me. I am living proof. You take me 8 years ago. I'm nowhere near where I was. And I wasn't going to get there. I wouldn't get there by myself. Hey, Brent Long, how are you doing, fella? So how many of you people feel like you perform when you've got a trainer, or perform better when you've got a trainer, when you've got a coach? If you go back and look throughout your life, I couldn't do it on my own. I thought I could, but I was very average without. Brent Long, how would you play without a caddy? I was not very good without my caddy. Hey, Coach Burt, can I call you my caddy? Baby, do you have any questions before we go to Gatlinburg? So, I want you to ask yourself, Brent, ask yourself this, what's holding you back? Because what's holding you back is probably what's depressing you. There's something that's holding you back and it's making you unhappy. There's something inside you that is, you're not reaching some sort of potential. And maybe you can mask it. Maybe you can trick people. But honestly, at the end of the day, when you're looking at yourself and you're knowing you're letting yourself down. And hey, I'm saying this because I did it for so long. There's other things we used to call it, hey, medicine. You'd medicate, you'd bring something in to numb the pain that you're letting yourself down. So, hey, I've been going about 50 minutes. Do we have any questions? I feel like Brittany Renee's done all the talking tonight. And I do appreciate that, Brittany Renee. You awake over there? I like putting you on the spot. We're getting ready for a big Gatlinburg trip in the morning. So if you've got any questions, please fire them at me. I appreciate everybody that's been on here. Please like the Good Time Tommy page on Facebook. I don't think I've got near enough likes. I need to get 10,000 people to like this page. You do have to start somewhere, but it's okay to say it ain't enough. Don't be satisfied. Can't be satisfied with it. But what we can do is we can get committed to putting more content out on this page to where people can't ignore it. And if they want it, they're going to have to like it. All right, guys, I don't see nothing coming in, but I really want you to know I appreciate you being on here. Thursday night, college football will be firing up in a few weeks. I'm just going to have to work through it. I'll watch plays. I'll talk. But it means a lot to me that you're on here. It means a lot to me that you've commented, that you've liked, that you've shared. Please share the stream. My goal is to reach as many people as I want to reach 131,000 people in Murfreesboro. That's how many people live here, and I want to be an influence. I want somebody to know my mistakes. I want everybody to know my mistakes, because if you know my mistakes, it gives you no excuse for making the same mistakes I've made. Everybody, have a great night. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you.